Yeah, hi guys, this is our 27th, 28th hour of what's going to be a 250-hour long show. So just to let you know, this is a relaxed performance, like all of our shows. What that basically means is the lights are going to stay like this. There's not going to be any loud, sudden noises. There might be a bit of music in the background, but it won't be like that. If at any point you need to leave, for any reason, you're more than welcome to head out through the doors you came through. There are some seats up there, you can take a breather and you can come back in at any point. And also there's a relaxed attitude to movement and sound from the audience for the benefit of those who would struggle to stay still and silent. Good interpretation of movement there. For the benefit of those who wouldn't be able to stay still and silent for an hour. If you need anything during the show, we have things like hearing loops and whatnot. Kat is our stage manager, she's just over there, and she will help you out. I think that's the main thing. Turn your phones to silent, but you don't have to turn them off. We're live tweeting this. You're more than welcome to tweet during. Yeah, and I'll hand over to Alex, who's our games master for this hour.
Hello. Yes, as Chloe just said, I am the games master. And hello to everyone on stream as well. Hello, we love you too. So, for those of you who don't know anything about what we're doing here, this is Adventurers Wanted. We are a live action. No, we're not live action. We're a tabletop.
No, we're not.
We
No,
can
we're
occasionally.
definitely not.
We can be.
No.
We are a tabletop role-playing game, which
Fine.
basically means
Thank
that
you.
the characters around the table, the players around the table, each have their own individual character that they are controlling. As the games master, I run the world, which means I run all the characters within the world. I run the beasts, the monsters, anything that's an antagonist or a potential ally to our players and their characters. And we all have dice in front of us. And as things go along, people make suggestions about what they would like to do, how they would like to interact with a thing in the world, or a place in the world, or a person in the world. And I will ask them to make a dice roll. And then we'll do a little bit of incredibly exciting maths. And we'll work out whether it was a success or a failure. It adds an extra bit of dynamic, a kind of bit of chaos and randomness into the world, and helps push the story along. So, speaking of story, this is the continuing adventures of a ship called the Spirit of the Horizon. It's a naval research vessel. So it has a varied crew of inhabitants, military, non-military. It was forced to flee their homeworld after they accidentally awakened a great old evil who decimated their navy and laid waste to the world all around it. Whilst discovering this evil, they found this weird magical tablet which sort of buzzed with a weird arcane energy, and the captain of the ship made an executive decision to use the magic held within the tablet and try to use it to escape. Doing so was successful, but it caused the death of the captain herself. Since then, the ship and all the people on it have found themselves floating on the seas, strangers in a strange land they've never seen before, full of species they've never encountered, and they have had a torrid adventure so far, from pillar to post, from port to port. They have, since they've arrived in this new world, they have fought shark people, they've saved slaves, they've met pirates, they've fought zombies, they killed a man made almost entirely out of fungus. They have sworn allegiance to a pirate council. They have scuttled a ship of pirate hunters, sent the ship to the bottom of the ocean floor, and potentially made enemies with pirate hunters. And now they have set off across the seas in search of a land that is known of in mythology almost as a pirate haven named Libertalia. In order to get there, they had to travel to a place called Barsang, which is an ancient island that had been rendered asunder by the machinations of a vindictive goddess. And in order to get to where they wanted to go, they have had to pass through this very narrow, jagged, rocky pass, whereupon they were beset by flying beasts who screeched and made awful noises and charmed some of our characters into wanting to be with them. Most of them were dead, were killed, and a couple of their corpses lie on the top of on the deck of the ship. One has flown off, and another flew off, almost carrying one of our characters with it. But they escaped at the very last moment and are now plunged into the waters by the ship. The characters around us have to work pretty quickly to save them, at which point, let's introduce the characters. I'm going to ask everyone just to say what their name is, what the name of their character is, what the character does, and a thing that might make them distinguishable to other people on the ship. We're going to start over this side this time.
Okay,
Keep
I'm
people on their toes.
Isla. I am playing Noggin, who is a gnome rogue. I am the ship's dentist. So then I like to collect anything shiny, and also teeth.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm playing Olmor. I'm a dwarven cleric of the light, and yeah, I tend to walk around and talk about the light a lot. I think that's pretty self-evident. Yeah, make sure they're all healed up and no one's suffering too badly. So I'm coming after you, buddy. I'm coming after you.
Hi, I'm Chloe. I'm playing Relora Ellenvol, who is a half-elf bard. Was the ship's translator when it was like a military research vessel, but more recently has just been involved in a lot of battles where she's been magnificently out of her depth. It's kind of
Magnificent being an important word.
Oh yeah, she styles it out.
Yeah.
Like that is her thing.
I'm Vachel. I'm playing as Parakas Kholadin, who is a tiefling barbarian. My current chief distinguishing mark is that I'm drowning.
Not yet. Nearly drowning.
I'm about to drown. Sorry, my mistake. Usually my marked features are that I'm 7 foot and red and have horns.
Wonderful. So, yes, as Hola has pointed out, he has currently just hit the water pretty hard. He's landed in the water off to the front of the ship, just off to the left-hand side as the ship heads forward. And all the people on the deck have roughly 12 seconds to save him from drowning before he drops beneath the waves. So, with that in mind, yeah, Hola, hold up. What would you like to do?
Are we doing it in initiative order, or should we just throw stuff in?
Throw stuff in.
Plumage is somewhere on the boat still, right?
Plumage is up the front of the ship, yes.
I don't know Plumage's level of spellcasting, but I know that Plumage is glamoring the out of himself, and so must have some power. So I use my action to send a message to Plumage, which I can do wherever he is, to say, Hola is drowning, teleport him on deck. I try. Like, I don't know if Plumage can even do that.
Plumage, you hear back in your head. He goes, teleport?
Can I cast my spiritual weapon underneath him so that he gets lifted out of the waves?
Is it tangible?
It's not tangible.
Damn!
It can deal damage, but it's not tangible.
Punch him. No. Well, rope seems like a sensible idea. I take the end of the rope that she is dragging off to try and throw over the end.
It's nice that we try the dramatic options first.
Obviously, yeah.
Fine.
And I tie the rope around my arm so that I've got a strong, steady grip on it, and I cast Enhanced Ability on myself to give me a heightened strength.
Okay, cool. And you throw the rope down to the...
I'm going to try and tie a lasso kind of thing on the end so we can try and actually get him in case he can't grab on.
If only there was already a rope with a lasso tied in it.
Yeah, but he's done
I have it.
Yeah, for those of you who missed it, in the last hour, Hola tried to lasso a flying beast with an axe tied to his lasso, and it did not work. Cool, so you lower the rope down.
I'm holding on to the end of it.
And you're holding onto it, and you're going to lower the rope down. Cool. I need you to roll me a perception check.
Can we shout out, catch the rope?
What's that, 13? 12.
Would that help?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So you spot the rope snaking down over the side of the thing.
Can I grab it?
You can grab onto it.
Okay, cool.
How would you like to move from there?
Can I yank him up?
it will be a contested strength. He is a 7-foot-tall tiefling barbarian, and
I've
you
cast, I think
are
I've
a dwarf.
I think I've cast enhance ability, and I think what
You-
that does.
I'll help as well.
It's,
With
yeah,
my -1 strength.
yeah. Enhance ability when I use it on strength. My carrying capacity doubles.
Okay. Okay. So you'll just do it without disadvantage.
Hey.
So you're going to haul him up.
Yep. One swift pull.
One swift pull.
I
Oh god.
does not do things by halves.
Roll your dice.
Is it just a strength check or is it athletics? It's not like it matters. It's a 2.
Oh, it was fun being here. Glad to be part of the process.
So what happens is you're right on the edge of the water, holding onto this rope, and you, in your mind, were preparing to like pull yourself up.
I was
what with you
thinking-
being a strong
Yeah. I was
barbarian.
gonna wrap my arm and just yank myself
Yeah.
up.
But so you wrap it around your arm,
Yeah.
at which point you feel this like massive tug.
Are you telling me you ripped my arm off?
No, it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
It was almost that bad. What has happened is he's forgotten that ships kind of bow. So he tugs you, you come slightly out of the water,
Yeah.
and your arm and the back of your head smash into the side of the ship, and you take 3 bludgeoning damage.
I've got him. I've definitely got him.
You are still on the end of the rope. You are out of danger of drowning.
Okay.
However, the ship is now moving towards. Been moving down this long, straight part of the ravine, and ahead it starts to curve around to the corner. It is coming now within sort of decision-making time of turning the ship,
Yeah.
and there are now jagged, like
Am I gonna
teeth-like
get ground
rocks.
against rocks? Is it
Damn it,
as
I'm the
it
helmsman.
turns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We shout some other people over to hold the rope.
I untie the rope that I've tied to the ship's wheel. I untie one end of it. I'm still like using my weight to kind of control it as much as possible because I'm not strong, but I'm at least using like what mass I have.
Can I
To
give
be
her
ready
verbal
to-
advice on how to steer the ship, being that
You,
I know how
you,
to steer the
you
ship?
can shout out advice, but it will depend on her ability to interpret that advice, as she is not a ship sailing person.
I'm a translator. I should be good with language.
Lass,
She can translate it into High Elf. If you
just
need.
turn the wheel. All you have to do is turn the wheel. The ship's tiller moves at a quarter axle per inch.
Great. Okay. Insight.
Well, I mean, I get that I just need to turn it.
Yep.
No sails, just wheels.
Insight would be 7.
You know you need to turn it, and looking at the ship and the wall in front of you, you know which way you need to turn it. What you don't know is
It's
how
how
much to turn it. So I'm gonna ask you to.
Can I?
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to say this out loud because I don't want other people to know that I'm not in control. I am gonna start letting it turn, but I send a message to Ormond going, "Say when."
You technically used your action to untie the rope.
Okay.
Oh,
So I
Then
will
I
let
don't-
you.
I
I
don't
will
say
let you do
anything.
that. But before that happens, we need to try and get Hola out of the
Okay.
water.
It'd be nice, thanks. Please.
So the ship is heading towards these slightly toothy rocks. As it does so, it gets like there's a few dotted around. You're not quite at the point where it's like, oh god, we're going to go straight into the wall. But you are at the point where if you don't start turning the ship pretty damn quickly, Hola is going to get like carpet burned along the wall as you turn. So you are holding onto the end of the rope.
can I yank it again? It
Who's
worked
actually
so
going
well
to-
last time. He's not very bright.
both of you roll strength checks, just straight up, just straight strength.
Just straight strength.
Just straight strength.
Full strength applied, advantage.
Ah.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, you succeed because he's rolled yet another one.
I'm so strong.
So roll your die. Roll your die as if you as before.
Just a normal strength.
Same as before.
That's a 7.
You pull him up. You yank him. His shoulder. It doesn't dislocate. You're fortunate, but it does. You've stretched those muscles. You're going to need like some deep tissue massage on that.
From the ship's doctor.
Bonding time.
And you feel yourself like slowly being pulled up the edge of the ship.
Am I just limp?
I mean, you're angry mostly, I think, because like this could have gone easier if they'd just let you climb.
Right.
No problem, but
Okay.
you've got a dwarf at the other end of it, so no wonder. You get a couple of splinters as you go along the side of the boat.
Fun. Souvenirs.
No damage, but yeah, he appears over the edge of the ship, and he is pretty. He's not pretty at all. He's angry.
Well, since I'm not really helping, what I was doing at that point, I was looking at those rocks and going, they're rather toothlike. And being a dentist, I know all about these things, so I was much more interested in that than what's going on.
As he comes over the side of the boat looking battered and bruised, what you get is, "You're welcome."
I punch him in the face in a friendly way.
You punch me in the face?
Yeah, I break
He
his jaw.
said it.
Fine.
Roll an unarmed strike.
Oh,
Go on, beat the 18. I dare you.
You got
He's
inspiration.
he's
I've got inspiration. I'm saving for this.
Yeah.
It's 11. No, it's not
You
worth it.
won't
It's
even
not
be
gonna
able
happen.
to. No.
Yeah, it's a friendly thing. It's just yeah, dick.
What
Still don't take
what
it.
what he interprets as like a fully firm unarmed punch to your face, you take as a dwarven greeting of thanks.
I hit him back.
Yeah.
I get a haymaker to the face and go back in the water.
While this is happening,
You have to have a full
decision
strength on.
decision
You do.
time has happened at the tiller, at the wheel. It is time to make a decision about how far you are going to turn that wheel.
So how much? I only was able to untie. The
You've
rope.
untied it and you started to turn it in the right direction, but you don't know how far you need to turn to get around this corner.
And is this at the point that they've just been doing their little punch in?
They're like having some kind of strange bromance over there.
What's your armor class?
15.
I didn't even get through it, it's fine.
Message, Ulmorn, I need help now.
You hear that?
Go over and steer the bloody ship.
Okay. Roll me. Oh, I've thrown that page away. Yeah, I literally have. Roll me a strength athletics or a dexterity.
Oh, it's athletics, baby. I've still got bull strength on. Yeah, that's a 23.
You succeed. The very last moment you move it to exactly where it needs to go,
Yeah.
and the ship catches this gust of air as it sort of comes around the corner, and it gracefully turns away from the oncoming.
No
thing,
effort. None at all.
And around the corner.
I look at her and say, "Was that so hard?"
As
It's all just with the eyes.
Doesn't notice. Low charisma too.
as the ship comes round the corner, you see that the pass continues, but maybe 100 foot, 150 foot ahead of you, there's signs of habitation. In front of you, right in front of the ship, is a large set of gates. Metal, barred, thick iron gates. On either side is a tower. From where you are, they seem quite small, but as you move along towards them, you can see that they're both maybe 50 foot high and 50 foot diameter. So these big, solid, round stone towers on either side, level with the water. and the gate sits between the two, and there's like two flying buttresses that come out from the two towers that are holding the strength of the gate. But there's a gap in the middle to allow ships and masts to pass through. So these gates are there are substantial gates.
Right.
To the left-hand side, as you're coming towards it, you see that there is there's like a dock area. Roll perception checks.
Playing to all my friends today.
6 from me.
19.
Hey!
Please make us up worthwhile, please.
It's a 20 non-natural for me as well.
Holla and Ulmorn. Holla, because you're at the front of the ship and you've been watching it coming since you.
I see everything. I see through everything. The Earth's flat. What?
You look at these two gates and you think, yeah, they look like they've been there for a while. They look like they've not moved for a while.
What are they made of?
So the gates themselves are made of like banded iron, so the water can rush through them. So the water's moving quite quickly, but the iron is strong. It doesn't look particularly rusty, so it looks like, you know, it's a solid piece of building.
I like a solid piece of building.
Up on the left-hand side, as I mentioned, there is a docking area, which is just about large enough that you would be able to land the ship next to it.
Can I do a stone cunning? So history check on stone.
Yeah.
Cool. That is a 23.
What would you like to know about the stone?
Everything.
It's large. It's sort of,
Was this a pointless
it's
roll?
sort of red, flaky. It sort of looks like it might be made from like a.
Is that geologist still on board?
The everyone's favourite geologist, Philip, is still on board.
I say, oi,
God.
Philip, and we start talking about the geology of the towers for a lengthy period of time. Like, this would be a montage cutscene away, definitely.
Wonderful.
Sort of hand gestures and sketches.
I want to talk to Plumage,
Cool.
because Plumage had the stuff that he told Eagle about the things crushing together, the cliffs, the sharp cliffs here, and I want to see anything Plumage knows about what we're approaching.
I've never been here before. All I have is stories. I have heard a rumour from a friend has a rumour from a friend that sometimes these passes may come together.
What?
But it may just be a legend.
Banks of
Thanks
stone
for
come
your
knocking
help.
together. I don't believe that for a second.
Roll an intelligence check.
That is a 9. That's what that is.
I mean, you know about rock.
Aye.
And you know that it doesn't tend to move.
Aye.
But, I mean, you've literally never been to this world before. You've seen some pretty weird stuff. There's a lot of magic around. You have no real reason to believe or disbelieve that could happen.
Then I keep my mouth shut.
I know nothing of what is here. This looks old. Perhaps it's a leftover from before. Maybe it's part of the legendary palace. I don't know. I'm speculating. We're all speculating.
Sure. Well, thanks for your help,
I find
Plumage.
his laugh.
Anytime.
I'm not trying too hard to make that sincere.
Oh, I'm very
Roll a
sincere.
deception.
Thanks, Blippi.
Like, this is should it be deception with disadvantage because it's so half-hearted?
Roll persuasion.
It's just like which am I rolling?
Persuasion.
Persuasion. And is it disadvantage or straight?
Straight.
20. She's really persuasive. She's really persuasive.
He looks at you, and you get the impression that he knows you're being sarcastic. And he says, "No problem, anytime." He's not fazed. He's not fazed by your sarcasm. He smiles, gives you a feathery thumbs up. He's just likable and friendly.
That's not useful. I go to the captain and just double check because I've told him about what Bluebush told me, and I say that there's not much more information, but I think we should be wary.
Of everything.
Yes, to be honest. Yes.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you. We're always wary on this ship. Thank you for your hard work.
Thanks, Captain.
Acting captain. No, captain. Yes. And he swigs from his hip flask. So the ship is now coming up towards the two towers. They are in front of you. There's the port just off to the left-hand side where you can tie off the ship. It's quite clear that these you're not going to just be able to barge through these gates. If you want to travel any further along this path, you're going to need to see whether there's a way of opening them. So the dock is just off to the side. What would you like to do?
Oh, me and Philip are still talking about rocks. We are now talking about the strata of the different kind of rock that are going through this canyon. It's very engaging conversation.
It is very engaging because you've literally never seen geological strata like this before.
Aye.
Partly because what has split the canyon is not a natural process.
Aye, I know.
So it's opened up sort of these deep layers, and he does this. Philip is saying all of this. Philip the geologist in his nasally, whiny elf tone. I think you're fine, actually. You can see just there. It's very interesting because there's a layer of sedimentary rock, and then just below that there's another layer of.
It looks like it's cracked in a sort of odd formation, doesn't it? That's very fascinating.
Yes, absolutely. I've never seen anything like this before. I must take a little sketch of it for my studies. So he starts sketching. Cool. The ship has pulled up beside the dock now, and people have started to lash off the ropes to the dock. So
Any sign of activity there?
roll a perception check.
Could I just... The 20 I had before, could we carry that on?
Nice try, but no.
10. 9.
We have some potentially slightly less ominous music. Relora's a bit on edge.
No, the dock itself seems completely clear. It's abandoned.
Okay.
There's some sort of little detritus on the ground, but no things, no people, nothing of interest really.
Anything
Okay.
shiny.
Roll a perception check.
Shiny things. Oh, yes, so that is a 24.
You see the odd piece of coin, nothing particularly interesting. And what does stand out against the stone of the dock itself are these sort of bright white bits of bone and like calcified bone and things
Any
like that.
teeth?
No.
No. Well, bones still good.
No, it mostly seems to be, if you go and investigate further, which means getting off the ship, it mostly seems to be the discarded bones and sort of bits and skeletons of various animals, birds. They look like they've sort of smashed as they've hit the ground. It looks like they've been dropped from above. A sort of discarded.
I look up.
Cool. Up above, you see that the pass itself is still there, and the cliffs go up really high. Roll a nature check.
15?
Yeah, you are pretty sure that what this is are sort of the detritus and discarded remains of things that have been eaten by the things that attacked you earlier. As you look along, you see like the tiniest bits of movement at the very tops of the cliffs. It implies to you that perhaps The ones you met are not the only ones, but at this moment in time, you can't see anything that's coming towards you. There's no sense of impending danger or anything like that. But yeah, there's obviously more of these flying beasts around.
I will relay this to my party members. I think there's more things up there, but I think we're okay for the moment.
I'm still in deep conversation. Didn't even hear it.
Cool. He's got out like a sketch pad.
Yeah.
He's gone and grabbed a couple of extra textbooks.
Yeah, totally.
And he's going to give you a pen.
Yeah.
And some paper, and he's going to start asking you to make notes of the things that he's describing, so that he can be the first person to write the geological textbook on this world. Wonderful.
I assist him in his action.
Roll a performance check.
That's a -1 on the roll. Oh, 18.
Yeah, you write out in lovely flowing copperplate everything he says, with the occasional spelling mistake.
Yeah. Not very bright.
What would you like to do?
We docked now.
The ship is very much up against the dock. It can go no further.
Cool. Then I start, stretching my arm a little, going counterclockwise, clockwise, all that.
Yeah.
And I go for a little walk by myself because I need some alone time.
Where are you going to go? Down onto the dock?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Just going in deep into the dock as I can. Maybe checking through windows, just turn around corners, seeing what's there.
Cool.
Actively looking for activity.
The dock itself stretches for maybe 100 foot, and then it ends basically at the bottom of the left-hand tower.
Okay.
The right-hand tower is on the other side of the gates, and you can't get to it from where the ship is. You would have to try and sort of navigate over in a small craft, and then you'd have to come to rest beside some very dangerous, treacherous whitewater rocks, and roll a perception check.
12.
Yeah, so you can see that the towers are pretty much identical on either side, except the right-hand one, something large, like a large boulder or something like that, has fallen at one point from the cliff above, and it's hit the top of the tower and caused a bit of damage to the structure of it, which has then fallen and blocked the front door to the right-hand tower.
Okay.
The left-hand tower, which is in front of you at the end of the dock, maybe sort of 80 feet away from you, is completely open. It has a wooden door in it, and as you look up, you see sort of like a crenellated battlement above at the top of the tower, which is about 50 foot up. And up at that level, there are like arrow slits, but there's no windows.
Right.
It looks like it's a military fortification rather than a dwelling.
I make my way to the left tower then.
Cool. Yeah. Everyone on board ship. Do you see Hola heading off towards? No, you're still looking at rocks.
I was wanting to go down as well and collect up all the shiny things.
Cool.
I think I might have seen him go, but once he walked, I didn't go after him. I did want to see how he was, but
okay.
I'm kind of leaving him be.
Disgruntled.
So Noggin, you watch as Hola stalks past you with intent.
I give him a wave.
And you.
The 7-foot devil-like figure shoots you some side eye and sulks off.
I'm still waving.
Cool. So Hola, you are heading towards the tower. What would you like to do?
I walk there.
You walk there. You succeed. How do you walk there?
Walking. Walking.
Like a 15-year-old emo is like, oh, they don't understand. They don't get it. It's really hard."
Sulkily stalks across, dragging his
Just
feet.
openly sulking, yes.
You kick a rock.
Yeah.
What would you like to do when you arrive at the base of the tower?
Actually, the door is there, yeah?
There is a doorway there with a wooden door, yeah.
A doorway.
A doorway with a wooden door in it.
Can I try to open the door?
You can.
I do?
It's unlocked.
Oh.
The door opens inwards into the tower.
I break it anyway.
Real
Yeah.
barbarian.
Makes sense. It makes sense.
So the door creaks
Can't trust doors.
open, and you're disappointed. So you literally just yank it off its hinges and just smash it on the floor
So
outside.
it's slightly better.
Um,
I enter the tower. What do I see?
so it's about a 50-foot diameter.
Uh-huh.
So 50 foot from the doorway to the other edge of the round tower. The room itself is about 20 foot high, and there is a small spiral stone staircase built in the inside of the tower, which starts at the far end, and it curves round clockwise and disappears into the floor above. There's no internal walls; it's just one big room. This room is mostly filled with just like boxes and crates.
Can I take a little peek at one of the boxes as I walk towards the stairs, get an idea of what kind of stuff is held here?
Sure. Use a strength athletics check.
So, which one? Athletics or strength?
Strength athletics. So yeah, athletics. Yeah, sorry.
21.
Cool. Yeah, you can crack one of those lids open. You peer inside of it. It seems to be filled with sort of basically martial weapons, but they look quite old.
Oh.
There's bits of straw.
I take a handful of straw and put in my pocket. Because,
Just
Is
in
that for
case.
starting fires?
You gain straw.
we'll see. I'm just prepared for any situation.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of crates in here. That's what this one contains.
But there's nothing better than the weapons I have now.
No,
No.
no. At best, the same, but
Okay.
maybe a little bit rusty, bit pockmarked. They look like they've been there for a while.
I make my way upstairs.
How do you make your way upstairs?
Using locomotion of the feet.
Do you just walk up the stairs?
I put one foot in front of another,
Cool. Okay.
like the rebel that I am. Like, God.
What's everyone else doing?
Still discussing rocks, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm. Where are you discussing, Roxy? On the.
We're on the sort of the prow of the ship, looking at the rock walls and the towers, and Philip has. I mean, his name is Philip, but I can't.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's
Actually.
kind of-
It's nothing like Philip.
Relora wanted to go to like the prow of the ship to have a look, more just to kind of wonder what the hell is coming up next. But she kind of does that 180 of walking up, slightly overhearing their conversation, realizing what they're talking about, and then just going no, and decides to kind of sit herself a little bit further back. So she still has some vantage point to kind of look at where they are. And I think she just plays some music to herself to kind of calm herself, because she's feeling quite shaky at the moment.
Okay. Cool.
And I noticed that she's looking a bit shaky.
Oh, like that would be a performance. Like she feels shaky. She does not want anyone to know, as much as he's known a bit.
I look back and see her, and she doesn't look too happy.
I mean, you're fully engaged in this this
I'm
scientific
doing
discovery.
as much as I can to make sure other people don't. It's meant to look like I'm just writing another
It's up
song
to you,
about
dear. It's
myself.
entirely your choice.
You can roll insight at disadvantage.
Right. I shall.
How hard
That
are
is
you
a
trying?
15.
Roll performance.
Of a performance. Okay. 24.
Yep, she looks like she's having a whale of a time.
Oh, I'll get back to you. That's all my rocks then.
At this point, the acting captain, Golan, acting captain Height, wanders over, and he clocks Philip, who he is not a fan of. And he goes, Philip, I see you're doing your normal shtick. This isn't very useful. Perhaps someone should see whether we can get through these gates here. Lieutenant, I think it's important that we investigate and see whether we can get these gates open. put together a small team of people and head off and see how we move on from here.
Right, you are, Captain. I put it down somewhat reluctantly. I was really enjoying myself. I'd say, yo, with me.
I'm down skipping around,
You,
collecting
with
up
me.
shiny things.
Yeah, sure, fine.
Cool. You have seen Hola walk down the dock and open the door sulkily and then smash it, and then you've just seen him disappear inside. What do you do?
It's perfectly normal behaviour for him.
We come on the land and say, where's Holiday?
He went through there. He looked a bit grumpy. He smashed that door.
What's new? Let's go.
Yeah. First of all, how many shiny things did I manage to collect? This is very important.
You found 14 shiny things, a collection of copper, bits of silver piece, sort of like some shards of like squished tin, but yeah, nothing of particular value to anyone other than a kleptomaniac.
I'm very
I
happy.
love them.
Hola,
No.
you are making your way upstairs,
Yeah.
correct?
Not regretting this decision at all.
What's your dexterity score?
14.
Roll me a stealth check.
5.
So as you stomp up the stairs, muttering under your breath, stupid, you turn the curved stairway, and above you there is another room, basically the same as the one below. At the back of the room,
Yeah.
you see like a strange, clockworky kind of mechanical thing, but you're not massively sure what it is because your gaze is mostly taken up with this strange, ugly, sort of a snaky, womany, crazy thing that is sat on this large stone throne beside it. It sees you and it screams this like. What languages do you speak?
I don't speak that. I barely speak common.
What languages do you speak?
That's it.
Yeah, I
speak
think
common?
it's just I can't
Common.
see any other languages listed.
I think it's just common.
Okay, yeah, you have no idea what she's saying. She is screaming at you and making all kinds of racket. What was your dexterity score?
14.
And she gets an attack on you. She moves towards you to the centre of the room,
This is a horrible.
and I want you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, I got a critical.
Critical success.
So I stuck because I never said those words before.
You've done really well this hour.
So you see it move towards you,
Yeah.
and something in the back of your head just says, "Look away." And you turn, and you succeed on your saving throw.
Okay.
That's the end of your. That's not true.
Sorry.
Everyone else outside.
Mhm.
Where are you?
Did we
Walking up to
hear
the
the
tower.
like scream thing, or was it just in range of him?
Roll perception.
Could I have the? I'm sorry.
Sorry.
7.
That's a 16.
That is a critical failure.
No, none of you have any idea what's going on.
Keep going towards the tower.
Keep going in.
wandering along towards the tower. Cool.
Trying to encourage them to do a military march, but
Yeah, I
mean-
am skipping.
yeah, it's unlikely to work with this lot.
I kind of mock it behind your back. I'm doing like a
Fine.
semi-military march, but kind of swaggering.
I definitely don't notice that.
There's going to be at least, yeah, anyway, irrelevant to you guys. You're just heading into the tower. Holla, you have an attack against this thing. It's about 30 foot away from you, in the centre of the room, and it is just screaming in this kind of guttural...
So
like-
not looking at it, can I throw an axe at it?
Explain to me how you're going to do that.
So I spontaneously developed sonar.
We're just sitting on that
Can
the
I
whole
roll
time.
for that? Using inspiration I've been sitting on for this past 10 minutes.
Wait, no, you used that inspiration. You rolled... Oh, no,
No,
you
you
didn't.
didn't.
Oh,
You
sorry,
didn't
you
use
held
it.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Didn't use it.
I roll to invent sonar. Or develop it.
It's kind of
No, you don't.
Well, I mean, I can hear the scream, so I can kind of see whereabouts it is. And having looked away, if I can just grab my axe and just hurl it.
Yeah, you were looking at it when it moved towards you, and you definitely succeeded on that save. So I'm going to allow you, using the memory that you're holding in your brain,
Yeah.
to throw your axe
Uh-huh.
at it. You can just roll normally.
Okay.
However,
Oh.
you're going to add your intelligence modifier to your roll.
Okay, fine. You think I'm a dumbass, but I'm not.
Let's
I just work in
see.
mysterious ways. 13.
You've got your inspiration.
Maybe I want to. 15.
The axe flies from your hand,
Yeah.
and you hear a wet thud
Hey.
and a screech of pain. Roll damage.
Cool.
Nice.
D6 plus 2. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. 8.
Oh.
Yeah, it's you hit it. It's angry. It is going to move towards you, and it's going to attack you. It's going to. Well, I've got a couple of minutes. It's going to attack you. One is a critical success. The other is 22.
Wait, it's attacking twice?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. No.
That's 1d4 4 piercing damage plus 8 poison damage, and it attacks you with its sword, which is 1d6 plus 8 slashing damage.
So that's 20 damage at all.
Yes.
Also, I did
Oh,
piercing and
God.
poison, and so I've all just been lumping it together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Unless
that's
you're
fine.
unless you're immune to any of those specific types of
Just lump it
damage,
together.
you take all of that damage.
So that's 20 damage.
20 damage.
You do have
Right.
you have one greater healing potion because
Oh, is it?
yes, because the captain ordered that with all of the stuff that's happening to the crew, everyone has to have one potion of greater healing
That's
on them at all
sensible.
times.
Fair, okay.
Also,
Just
if
so
you're
you know.
raging, piercing and slashing do half damage. So.
It would have been clever, wouldn't it? Yeah.
He's going through a lot of stuff.
He is going
He's
through a
going
lot
through
of
a lot of
stuff.
stuff.
That action happens. You guys are continuing to move towards it. No massive noises or anything happened in that particular round of combat. So I guess you can all roll a perception roll again just to see whether you hear any sounds of combat or anything.
I definitely hear
I do not.
That's a 24.
Both of you hear the sounds of shouting, echoes, a horrific screech as this thing is wounded, and presumably like some angry pain sounds coming from Hola up the stairs above you
Right.
as you reach the doors of the tower. And that's where we're going to stop. Thank you very much, everyone, for playing. Thank you very much for coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to round off, we are obviously doing this 10 hours a day, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., then 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. For the rest of the Fringe, we are always in here. We are also live streaming, high stream, the whole thing on twitch.tv/Adventurers Wanted, so you can always have a little watch there. I'm sorry, that is absolutely... This is something we are trying to deal with right now. The light switches to this room, they're either in a separate room or there's a motion sensor thing. This is an ongoing thing. I'm sorry, you'll hear one more minute. At Adventurers250 is our Twitter hashtag. Our Twitter handle. We're live tweeting. And please do feel free to spread the word to